What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I'll be remaking my Warwick guide because it's quite necessary, let's be honest. The other one is pretty outdated. And Warwick right now is actually very, very good in the current, meta. Like, he does so well in solo queue right now. I wouldn't be surprised if I'd call him, like, top 3 easily at this moment in time. So he's very good. If you want to pick him up, definitely do so. I would recommend you to try him out and then see for yourself how strong he actually is. So I'll give you guys a build for him right now. This is the rune page I use on Warwick. I go for the attack speed reds, I go for movement speed quints, I go for scaling health in the seals, and then I take 5% flat and then scaling. So that it's pretty much like 3 scaling ones and then 6 flat ones. It gives you 10% overall, but it gives you 5 early and then 5 over time. This 10% just combines really well with your build because you're going to build 30% CDR in pretty much any game, which means you have 40% CDR combined with these runes, and that's really all you're looking for to get, like, you cap out your CDR that way, and then you're just good. The reason I take attack speed is because with Hunter's Machete, especially early game, it helps Warwick a lot in just bringing camps down very low, and overall Warwick skills really well with attack speed. Sure, he gets a lot of attack speed from his W, mainly, but having that extra attack speed just helps you with your jungle clear early on a lot, so that's why I take it. There's really no other slot, or like no other rune in that slot that would give you a great benefit on Warwick, so just take attack speed, it's your best option. Then you want to take scaling health. The reason you take scaling health over anything else is because Warwick doesn't need flat armor to help him clear, he has plenty of sustain to go with, and just like scaling armor, not the greatest. Scaling health, definitely when you want to go for it. If you have a bigger health pool on Warwick, you have more health to pretty much sustain back, so you can stay in fights a bit longer. And you're already gonna build quite tanky on Warwick anyway, so having like more health to go with those tank stats really, really beneficial. And then movement speed quints, they scale really well with Warwick's kit. Every time he starts to hunt targets, you're just gonna get a nice extra bit of movement speed on top of that, so you can really just roam around even faster. That's why I tend to go for the movement speed quints. Like, they just synergize with his kit very well. Also, having these movement speed quints pretty much extends his ult range a tiny bit as well, because it scales with your attack, not your attack speed, your movement speed, meaning that the more movement speed you have, the bigger the range. So this is pretty much the best rune in slot. If you don't have movement speed quints, then I guess attack speed would be not like the best option apart from that, because again, Warwick just scales pretty nicely off of it. Now over to the masteries. This is the mastery page I use on Warwick. I go for Fury for attack speed. I go for Fresh Blood just to have a little bit of extra damage. You don't need sustain out of Feast, and you could go for Exposed Weakness, I guess, if you want to. But I just prefer to do a little bit of extra damage when you start to fight people. This is mainly just for early game. It can matter quite a lot to have that little bit of extra damage on that. Then I take 1 point in this. It's not quite necessary. You can just take 5 points in this as well. But I just tend to prefer to have that 1 point on literally any champion I do it on. It's just my preference. I mean, you could put 5 points in this. On Warwick specifically, it doesn't necessarily matter too much, since his entire kit helps him sustain. But I just find like this little bit of extra sustain in certain situations to be very useful. Then Battle Trance, the best one to go for on Warwick. You tend to go in fights for a longer period of time, so this is going to help you the most with just getting extra damage in. I mean, you could go Double-Edged Sword, I guess, for like more early game damage on everything, but you will also take more damage, and that's not really that beneficial. On Warwick, I mean, you can sustain everything back. I mean, it's literally whatever you want. Either one of those two and you're fine. Then you take this, Magic Penetration. Warwick does a lot of magic damage, and this is just your best option. And then you take Fervor of Battle. Fervor of Battle is your best option to go for on Warwick, because you stack this up, and then you're like, everything will do more damage, since everything scales off of AD but does magic damage. So getting more AD this way is very beneficial. You auto attack a lot, so Fervor is quite easily stacked. You're a melee champion, so you stack it twice as fast. And yeah, just go for Fervor of Battle, honestly. Then I take, in the Resolve tree, I take the Unyielding, 5% bonus armor and magic resist. You don't need the sustain from this. You already have plenty of sustain, so this is quite useless. You build quite a lot of armor and magic resist, so Unyielding is going to help you out a lot. And then you take the, I personally take the Tough Skin. Take like 2 little, like, it makes a little bit of difference in just damage you take, but you can also take the Explorer for more movement speed whilst you're like roaming towards people. The reason I don't take this is because you already have that W, and I already have movement speed quints, so I really don't need the extra movement speed at that point. But this is obviously good for obvious reasons. Movement speed scales really well with Warwick. I just tend to have this, I tend to prefer having this little bit of extra reduced damage. Because, like, it just saves you kind of, like, it saves you, it saved me quite a lot, let me put it that way. Once like tanking minion waves or like going for champions, going in team fights, all that little bit of like damage reduction matters, and that's also why I don't take the why I personally don't take the double-edged sword, because all the damage like you don't have to take is better to help you sustain it back, if you know what I mean. So that's really why I go for tough skin. Then runic armor, obviously, you sustain a lot, so if that's stronger, 8% stronger, it's definitely the best thing to go for. And then finish this off with insight. Summoners on Warwick, especially Flash. Like, you could also go for Ghost. Ghost and Flash are both fine, but I lately tend to prefer Flash because of the ganks where you can just, like, prime up your E and then just Flash E a target to get a free kill in the early game. That's, like, a very good mechanic to go off of to get some early kills without your ultimate. Because without Warwick ultimate, it gets a little bit harder to just gank lanes and, like, surprise them unless they're like low HP. If the laners are like low HP, then you can just walk into them with like your W and a lot of movement speed, like 600, 700 movement speed, and then there's nothing they can do because at that point you'll already get in position to like get a nice sphere off. But if they're like full HP and you're like looking for a random early gank to just like try to get a kill, having that Flash is actually better than having that Ghost. And overall, I lately tend to prefer Flash over Ghost. So that's why I take Insight, to have those ganks a little bit more. If you do it, or if you do the gank early and then just Flash E something, then you can have your Flash back right before you hit level 6 again, or barely as you hit level 6 or something like that, and then you can just do it again to get like the ganks before level 6 kind of going, if you know what I mean. So that's why I take Insight. Now over to the item build. They put the item sets back into the client, so that's why I'm gonna use this one. Alright, so the starting thing on Warwick is you want to go for the Hunter's Machete with the Rejuvenation Bead. Warwick doesn't need the, what's it called? Refillable Potion. He doesn't need it. He has plenty of sustain from just auto attacks, his passive, his Q, everything. He sustains a lot, so just getting this to go into a quicker Tiamat is all you want. Tiamat is the item you want to rush on Warwick, because it will allow you to get splash damage or like AoE damage on jungle camps. Warwick is a very single target heavy jungler, or like very single target heavy. He doesn't have any AoE skills to help him clear his jungle camps, so getting that Tiamat is essential to being able to clear your Wraiths and your Krugs efficiently and fast. Your Wolves also, this speeds it up quite a bit, but you have to get this item first. If you don't get this item first on Warwick, you're losing out on a lot of potential clear speed, and you don't want that. So getting that Tiamat first is key. By the way, you start with Hunter's Machete over the other one because you auto-attack a lot and this gives you more damage. Now after you complete this, you just want to get your tier 2 boots, because all you're looking for is a lot of movement speed, a lot of roam potential, and with combined tier 2 boots with your W, you put 2 early points into your W. Like, I put 2 early points in my W, let me rephrase that, because it gives you a lot of extra movement speed plus a lot of extra attack speed as well when you like try to fight people in the early game, and that's gonna be very like fight and hunt down people in the early game. So getting those extra 2 points early, combine that with tier 2 boots pretty quickly, you're gonna just be running around at like 700 base movement speed if you're like running at targets, which is insane. Like, that's crazy to think about. There's no way the enemy outruns you, especially if you have your ultimate. So you're like getting those early boots after TMS is very key. Also, these boots, like if you go for Ninja Tabis, they will reduce a lot of damage you take, which makes you insanely tanky. And if you go for Mercs, then you'll also get like a lot of CC reduction as well, which makes it even harder to lock you down. Now after boots, you just want to finish your jungle item off. Getting that Cinderhawk right now gives you, again, a lot of extra like clear potential. It will give a lot of burn damage to the camps. Combine that with your Tiamat, you're just gonna breeze through all your jungle camps so easily. It's gonna make you really tanky because Cinderhawk gives you all that extra HP, and then the Red Smite is obviously gonna help you a lot in like 1v1ing people, because they will deal less damage to you, and you'll deal an increased amount of damage to them. So this is definitely your core build and the thing you want to go for. Now moving on to finishing off your build. You always want to want to finish your Tiamat into a Titanic Hydra. This is simply the best one to go for on Warwick, because you tend to build quite HP heavy and tanky, so you'll deal way more damage with that. Plus it works with your Q as well, so you can get a lot of burst damage on that. If you pop your Hydra and then Q for the Titanic Hydra active with the combined Q damage, you're gonna deal an insane amount of bite damage to someone. That could easily be half an HP of the AD carry, for example. It's pretty crazy. Now, this item is guaranteed to want to be because it's what you finish your Tiamat into, but the rest is optional. Well, no, I'll get into it, fuck it. You can get either Iceborne or the Trinity Force. Like, this is a switchable slot. If you're not doing too well in the early game, you're like getting kind of wrecked, I guess. You're not like scaling, you're not getting a lot of kills. Iceborne is a better option because then you want to just be more tanky for your team, be kind of a frontliner, be obnoxious to deal with. This is going to help you slow down people. This is going to help you just get like the armor and CDR. The main thing, these items both give you 20% CDR, which means that getting that Spirit Visage combining with your Rune page is going to give you capped CDR. So this is definitely a good pickup in either situation. This is if you're kind of behind, and this is if you're doing really well. This can give you insane amounts of damage, insane amounts of carry potential. It also gives you that nice percent of movement speed boost. So this is, most of the games, this is the item I go for, because most games you'll be able to, if you play it a bit smarter and like try to go for a bit more farming and then take ganks that you can take. This is an item you can afford, and this is an item I just usually go for every game. But if you just do this core build and then get a Sheen right after, that's always something you want to do. Actually, I should put, honestly, the Sheen in the core build as well. Wait, the fuck is the Sheen at? Oh, right. This is honestly an item that deserves to be in the core build as well. You want to get this as soon as you finish your jungle item, because Sheen on Warwick is pretty big, because Sheen works really well with your Q. Dealing more damage with your Q means you'll heal more, and obviously that's great. So, Sheen, yeah, Sheen builds into one of these two, depending on if you're doing well or not. Now, after you complete either one of these two, and then your Titanic Hydra, because your Titanic Hydra is gonna be completed after either Iceborne or the Trinity Force. That's pretty much a slot for this item, so I should actually put it there. So it's either one of these two into Titanic Hydra, into always a Spirit Visage, except from one situation, and that's if they are full AD. If they're full AD, you do not buy this, because then it'd just not be worth it. But if they have even one magic damage dealer, it's definitely worth getting this item, because the increases all healing received by 30% is insane on Warwick. That is crazy, because Warwick has a lot of sustain in his kit. His ultimate gives him sustain. Auto attacks, his Q, everything gives him sustain. So getting that Spirit Visage makes him so tanky. Like, it gives him magic resist, obviously, but it's gonna give him the insane healing increase, which makes it so difficult to kill Warwick. So this item is insanely broken on Warwick, and this is an item you should go for every single game. Again, except for when they're literally full AD, and this item would be useless apart from the healing. In that situation, it'd just be better to just pick up an armor item, because you don't need the extra healing if you're just like so insanely tanky that they can't do shit against you. Like, at that point, you know, it doesn't matter. So this is always an item you pick up after your Titanic Hydra, apart from full AD comps. Then you can just pick up like the Deadman's Blade or the Random ones, either one of those two. But if you're like full AD comps, you're gonna pick up just these two items after you complete the rest. And even if you're against full AD comps, it might just even be better to go for like Gauntlet, even if you're ahead, because this makes you just so tanky against like physical damage. Combine that with Ninja Tabi and then these two items, you're just gonna be unkillable. Even though you deal a little bit less damage, you're just gonna be so unkillable. It's even unfair. So in that situation, it's just different. But going on with your regular game build, you want to get that Spirit Visage, and as soon as you get that Spirit Visage, I tend to finish this build off with the Gargle Stone Plate. This item, combined with just the rest you got so far, you got a lot of health from Cinderhawk, you get a lot of health from this, you get a lot of health from Spirit Visage, you have the health in your runes as well. So getting that with this Stone Plate, it's going to give you 40 armor for 40 magic resist base. Then if you're against like multiple enemies, you're going to get that extra 40 armor and 40 magic resist. And then to top that off, you're going to get the active that you can just pop it, be a massive tank for like it's going to just double your HP, like crazy to double your HP, especially on Warwick. You're going to get like a good 6,000 to 7,000 HP, and then you're just going to be literally unkillable for like a little bit. Which means that if you use this at the right time, you're going to just be like, you're going to just soak up all the enemy team's damage, and your team can just follow up to clean up. You can use this in combination with just seeing someone down with your ultimate. You jump in with your ult, you pop that Stone Plate nicely, and then you're just good, you know? So it's a really good item on Warwick. You tend to dive a lot, so this is a very solid choice. Combine this as well, actually, with your E, with the damage reduction you get on that, which is, I believe, let me just check real quick, it's like 55% maxed. Yeah, 55% damage reduction on the max rank on that. It's pretty insane. Combine it with Stone Plate, you're just going to be so insanely tanky with this item. So this is usually the type of build I go for with these two items to finish it off. Again, against like full AD comps, this is definitely like a really good item combination to get, because these two items obviously give you some magic resist. And against full AD comps, you don't really need that magic resist, so just getting these two items against that type of team is beneficial. It is the best choice, let me put it that way. So if you have any questions about this build, make sure to ask them in the comments below. And without any further ado, let's get right into the gameplay now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I'm playing Warwick, obviously, against a Nautilus, which is honestly a pretty free matchup. Like, any type of tanky matchup Warwick has in the jungle is quite a free matchup, because there's no way a tank is going to kill you. You have so much sustain and so much just like damage reduction and all that, there's no way a tank's going to kill you. So getting any type of tanky matchup, Gragas, you want to think about those champions, Gragas, Nautilus, anything tanky, you can just easily pick Warwick into it and be fine. There's a lot of like other matchups as well where Warwick is really good. Warwick, honestly, at this point is just really good in general, as I mentioned before. So yeah, I'm just like kind of standing around, kind of trolling with my dance emote, looks like here. It's what I do a lot in the early game. Warwick is a pretty amazing dance, as you can see, it's quite fun. Now, lanes to look for here, the gank. Honestly, Gangplank early is a pretty free gank, since Nessus can slow him, or I can figure him, and then he can only like eat his orange on one of them. And at that point, he's just dead. He doesn't have any mobility. He has a flash once, and after that, there's not really much he has. So that's one to look for. Mid lane's quite difficult to gank, especially if Zed is not able to keep like Malzahar's shield down. Because with that shield, it's going to be really hard to get Malzahar in any situation. And then bot lane, honestly, is a pretty good gank after level 6, since then Leona can just go in and then take it like that. So the main gank I can look for early game is top lane because of that reason. Even though it's a Nessus lane, and ganking for Nessus is kind of iffy, because you usually want to put like your Zed or Twitch ahead, that'd be better, but you know. In this specific game it's quite hard, since the Corki does have a lot of escapes, and Vigar has that zoning stun radius, which makes it hard. So if you don't have like hard engage with my ultimate or Leona ultimate, it's gonna be quite hard to go bot lane. And then Malzahar has that passive shield, which makes it also quite annoying. Now, it looks like Nautilus started on blue buff. I think I knew that in this situation. It might have been like, I might have paid attention or whatever happened. Right, on Warwick, you just want to like kind of clear efficient camps. Clearing Wraith camp and clearing the Croc camp isn't beneficial. Now here, this is what I meant. Like an early gank towards something on Warwick is definitely key. Here, I fear him. He is slowed. He's going to eat his orange. He might get out because he still has flash. I auto-attacked the minion on accident, which was quite bad on my part. If I didn't auto-attack that minion, and if I auto-attacked the Gangplank there, actually, now that I look at it, I would have just killed him. So that's quite unfortunate, actually. We did get his flash, though, which is honestly all that matters. You want to just make sure you put a little bit of pressure in the early game as Warwick. Like, after you clear your like initial camps, hit that level 3, you want to just use your pressure in either top or mid lane, or even bot lane. And then just get it that way. Now, I looked at Nautilus' CS count, and it was 6, and I just assumed that his Gromp would still be up, because he would have been at 1 CS higher at the time, and then, yeah. So, looking at CS counts allows you to see if camps are up or not. Now, he did ward this. I was just, like, looking for another gank on top lane, because, I mean, I didn't have enough money yet for it to get my Tiamat. But I knew his flash was down, so either way, if we got like the slow from Nessus on him and then just go for him again, I can fear him. I have red buff still for a little bit. There's not much you can do. Since he has no flash, he is quite immobile. He just dies. So that's what I was looking for, and that's what actually happened there. Now I'm back on 1140 gold, which is gonna just mean I pick up a Tiamat, which is gonna allow me to just clear the rest of my jungle camp quite efficiently. I also have enough money for control ward, so I'm gonna pick that up as well. There's no point in buying any type of health sustain on Warwick, like refillable potions or anything like that, because it's just useless. There's, like, honestly just no use for it. Twitch looks like to get a double kill here, which is even better for me, because I don't have to be going bot lane at that point anymore. Really, because they just win. Now, as you can see with Tiamat, these camps become way easier to clear. You have, like, a lot of splash damage, and your auto attack speed increase on, like, lower HP targets. Just kind of make sure that you clear that fast. I currently am on level 5, and I'm just like looking to farm up to level 6 to gank again. Now, as you can see right here, actually in this corner right here, I put the 2 points here, which is gonna just allow me to get a lot of extra movement speed and a lot of extra attack speed on lower targets. And that's like really all you want. So putting these 2 points early here, instead of getting those in your queue, is better. Just for the extra roam potential and extra attack speed. Like, the value you get out of those 2 points early is quite insane. So put those 2 points here, and after that you just max your queue. So that's what I did this game as well. Now here I'm just pushing mid lane out because I, like, Zed died and I saw him back, so I can just, like, get a free wave and deny him a wave. And then just go that way. Now bot lane was fighting here, I was just like, trying to run bot lane with my, like, my Bloodhound. To maybe, like, if I have to, like, dive him and, like, get a kill that way if they didn't pick him up, but they were fine. I just pick up the 2 bigger ones and just walk out. My blue's up, so I'm looking towards going to that. Oops. I'm looking towards going to that, I think. I'm also sitting on 900 gold right now. The aim I want to go for is 1100 gold, because that's my tier 2 boots. And at that point, I usually recall. So after this, I'm probably gonna recall. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm gonna look for the recall here to get my, I think, Ninja Tabe this game. Actually, no, I think Mercs this game. Ninja Tabe. Interesting. Looking at this team comp, I think Mercs would have been better. But I guess Ninja Tabe's work, you know, whatever. The boots are still pretty broken. Even though they nerfed it, it's still pretty stupid. Actually, to be more efficient here, I could have just done, like, Crocs. Actually, I might have been wanting to just gank this Gangplank. Alright, he recalled. I figured his blue would be up, so I just go there and start it. I'm level 7, this dude is level 5, so there's really not much he could do against me. I can, like, literally just walk up to him right here, as you can see, and I just murder him. I'll just rewind that a little bit. Just, like, show that a bit slower. Now, I just figured his blue would be up because of timers and all that, and I just didn't think he'd have it yet, so I walked there. I just go towards it. I have 2 levels on him, so my smite's gonna just obviously deal more damage. So it's a pretty free pickup, especially if you combine it with my Q damage and surprise him like that. I have red buff, he has red buff, but he's level 5. And I have fear that I can use to just CC him down, and he just dies. Like, I wanted the ult to be sure he doesn't have, like, flash to get out or something. He did have flash up, so just, like, secure ulting him like that's pretty worth it, in my opinion. My ult cooldown isn't that, like, that impactful. I mean, it's like 85 seconds or something like that. It's not too not the worst. Now after that, we just want to get out. I thought I might use the blasting plant, but it's down, so I'm kind of hovering back and forth. Not sure what I'm doing here. I should just walk out. Alright, that looks like I just walk out. There's a scuttle clear. If you want to clear the scuttle on Warwick, by the way, just prime your E, and then just fear the scuttle crap. It's gonna lose a lot of tanky stats, and you could just kill it quite easily. Here I'm, like, trying to brawl this Gangplank, which is quite questionable. Like, someone could easily react, and this Malzar is reacting right now, so I'm not sure what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm kind of like, this is kind of considered hard inting or something. Holy fuck, what was that, dude? Like, I should never have been in that position. Like, there was no follow-up because my mid laner wasn't even around, so Malzar could easily follow that, and I would have just died regardless, so that was just a really stupid misplay on my part, honestly. Don't be greedy like that. That was just really dumb. Now, I pick up the Bami Cinder here for burn damage. It's gonna make it even easier to clear camps with Tiamat and Bami Cinder. It's gonna shred through these camps' HP, and, like, any type of AoE is just gonna be really easy to clear. Alright, he just, like, solo killed the Nasus. I was looking towards going top lane here to get this guy. He looked to be a pretty free kill, but then I missed my ultimate, like, by barely a little bit of range, which is so bad. If I hit that, he probably would have died. But I missed it, and then I die for it again. Holy shit. Alright, cool. That's just, like, a bit of a greed play for me there, because I probably knew that Nautilus could have been around, and being in that situation was just overall quite bad. Now, my blue's spawning, so I'm just gonna go towards my bot side jungle, and then just farm it up, I suppose. The main thing you want to do on Warwick is just keep your CSing going. It's very like you honestly with Warwick you just kind of want to wait with ganks mostly until either you have your ultimate or like you have a Bloodhound. In any other situations, it's better to just keep farming it, and then with your Bami Cinder / Cinderhawk and your Tiamat, you're just gonna be doing really quick clears, so it's pretty easy. Now here I have my ult up. I just jump on the guy. He's like 10 HP. I just jump on him to get him. I have the range for it. Now at this point, we just look to fight this. I mean, I have so much sustain that I can literally just tank this if Leona helps me out. As you can see right here, even Gangplank ults me, but I'm pretty sure I win this fight if I remember correctly. Like, I get so low, as you can see. I get to like 42 HP, maybe even lower. I put my damage reduction on myself so he doesn't do as much damage to me. I Q him, I gain a lot of HP back, and I just kill him right here. That's pretty, like, the amount of sustain he has with damage reduction is pretty insane. And this is what I meant with, like, tanks can't kill you. If it was that Corki, I might have died, but Nautilus just doesn't deal any damage. So he can't really do anything against me in that situation, and that's why Warwick is pretty crazy. Like, any type of tanky jungler, you just win. Now, at this point, you can just go for the dragon. By the way, the dragon knock-up and any type of knockback for that matter, like Lee Sin kick, anything knockback heavy, or like knockback heavy, anything that does a knockback, you can, if you hold your Q down and time it correctly, you can then cancel the knockback, because you cannot be like displaced when you hold down your Q. If you do it the right time, you can like counter Lee Sin kicks and all that shit. Now here, there's nothing for me to really do, because I can't really defend mid lane by myself. Zed's still bot lane, top's not reacting, so they're just like having a free push for no reason at all, pretty much. I'm not gonna try to defend this shit because it's pointless. Without Zed or Twitch or Nasus there, I can't go in. So I'm like literally waiting around. Maybe Twitch is gonna do something. I was looking for a play with Twitch here. So here we can go in. I can just like go in, take the exhaust. I was just waiting for the exhaust. Then I'm not planning to walk through that ultimate, like not the ultimate, through the Corki package. So I just like chill back a bit. I'm currently sitting on 2k gold, which is a lot of gold, and I would look to back for my Cinderhawk. Oh, actually, alright, the massive range of my ultimate there, like he was so low that I get a Bloodhound target on it. Actually, like, I can rewind and show you guys the amount of movement speed I get. Let me just go on myself. Look at the amount of movement speed I have, 642 movement speed. This is gonna give me an insane ult range, and Corki is really low, so just jump on him from a massive range, get the kill on him, just to secure that down, and then we can just fight this afterwards, because there's really not much Malzahar and Gangplank are honestly gonna do in this situation. Malzahar's ult's down, Gangplank, I mean, he has his ultimate, but he really isn't gonna do too much, and I just pick up a triple kill right there. So instead of recalling in that situation, going for like the Bloodhound target, because I noticed it, and then just jumping on that to finish it off, is really good. Now here we just want to recall, and I think I'm just gonna pick up my Cinderhawk with like Hearts of Triforce, yeah, Phage and Sheen, and a control ward again. Picking up those constant control wards is very beneficial. It's something I would always recommend anyone to do, like mid laners, top laners, AD carries even. Just if you have the money for control ward, buy it, because it's pretty important. It's gonna give you a lot of vision control. Like, just pick it up, dude. Honestly. And here I'm 7-2. I currently don't have my ultimate up, so I can't jump over, which is quite unfortunate. But I'm just, at this point, I'm just trying to peel as much as I can for Twitch. I'm just fearing the Nautilus off him, sticking with him, because he's the only like other damage dealer on my team currently that's useful. Zed and Nasus are literally useless. Like Zed's 0-4, Nasus 0-2. They're not really gonna do much. And then if I just stick with Twitch a little bit, peel for him with my fear and like my ultimates and all that, that's the optimal playstyle for me at this point. And then we can just like together play it from back to forward, if you know what I mean. Now here I should be getting close to picking up my Triforce. I'm doing really well. I'm 8-2, so this is definitely a game for Triforce and not a game for the Gauntlet. Now Veigar zones me completely here with that stun. Leona goes in, but I think actually she might get out looking at that HP right now. And here I just like, Veigar walks up way too far. I red smite him, I fear him, and I can just like literally kill him for free. Veigar literally just overextended there. Also the damage reduction allowed me to tank like a little bit. Like the first initial shot just deals reduced damage. You can use that damage reduction to help you tank turrets as well. I mean, you don't instantly have to fear. If you take aggro and then you can just tank a little bit extra with it. And then also, like, save your ult for later to get like more sustain off it. That's also very nice. Using your ult if you're like not full HP is actually a little bit better, because you get a massive amount of sustain from it. And yeah. Not sure what Nasus is actually doing here. It's just like taking my jungle camps. I'm pretty sure before this he also took my raid camp. I guess he just wanted to like stack safely or something. I mean, at this point I just recall for, I think, this Trinity Force with like a health crystal going into Titanic Hydra. Yep, perfect amount of money for that. We are looking to still pick up this Herald. Or like they might be going for it. Wait, did Twitch just like jump over the wall and go in? Wait, need to rewind this shit. That Twitch went in hard, dude. What the hell? Alright, let's look at this from this perspective. Alright, they're doing Herald. I think we just knew that and pinged it. He just jumped over the like the blasting wand and just goes in. Actually, he might have just wanted to do it, and then we didn't realize they were doing it. And he actually just like barely survives that. Holy shit, that guy got lucky as fuck. Alright, I have my ult up here. I just jump on this guy, red smite him, hit him a couple times, and he just dies to burn damage. I mean, red smite combined with ult, like, you're instantly gonna proc it once you're ulting, because it counts as, like, auto attacks and all that, so you just get the procs, the burn damage procs on it. They'll reduce damage as soon as they get out of it, and you'll take, like, no damage at all. I mean, that guy's, like, level 9. He's so far behind, so either way I would have been okay. But, yeah. Here, red's spawning very soon, so I'm just gonna look for it. Getting that red buff on Warwick is actually very nice, because it allows you to just, like, stick with targets easier. Your Q also applies the red buff, because it applies on hit effects and all that stuff. So your Q actually also applies it. Here, just looking down, I think this red might also be up, but I think I'm just looking towards maybe just going bot lane here. My ult's still on cooldown, so, yeah. Alright, I see this red up, I'm just gonna take it. My ult's still 10 seconds, so I think I'm just waiting for my ultimate before anything else. What's happening maybe here? He uses that stun, I'm just waiting. I have ult currently, I can look for like an engage on something. I don't really see the engage happening right here because they were just slightly out of position. But as you can see right here, Twitch is flanking from the side. I noticed this, and I'm like, okay fine Twitch, let's do it mate. Twitch has his ultimate up obviously, and then I can just go in, tank everything. So that's what I do, I just ult anyone, go in, so they like all kind of group together, focus me. And then, like, Twitch gets the free damage targets off. I can just pop my damage reduction here, tank a lot of damage that they will be able to deal to me. And this guy even goes off me and just goes onto the Twitch because he's hitting me is useless. So I just go in, tank a lot of damage, and then Twitch is there for the cleanup with me, and then we just win that fight. There you go. Wait, Twitch just flashed for, like, on place or something like that? Holy fuck. Wait. Whatever. So that's literally just, like, as a Warwick, you kind of just have to play like frontline tank, because you're going to be able to take so much damage with the amount of lifesteal you have, and the amount of sustain you get from, that's like double up, the amount of sustain you have, and then the amount of damage reduction you get from your E. That's what I wanted to say. I'm pretty sure I just looked to get enough money here for my Titanic Hydra. I'm not sure how far off I am, not sure how expensive it is right now. I'm pretty sure this should just be a back for my Titanic Hydra. And again, another control ward. Just remember that picking up those control wards hella worth it. Right, I'm just looking towards going bot lane right here. Apparently. With the Titanic Hydra and Triforce, you're just gonna deal insane amounts of damage. I see a fight going on here. My movement speed goes up to like 700 for just a second there. I see this dude. I can literally just ult him. Like, you cannot be disabled, so you can literally just jump through Vygar wall with your ultimate. And then, like, it does nothing. Alright, something going on here. I'm like Blood Hunt target. I have 700 movement speed, as you can see, 699. I killed that dude, instantly lose all my movement speed, but that's fine. I'm in position here. I'm like fearing up, just in case the Malzahar has his ult ready to like ult the Nasus. So just fear up, and I'm just waiting as long as possible with that fear to see if he still is going to ult. I mean, he didn't have it up, but I didn't know that at the time, I think. So I just held on to it for as long as possible. Because as soon as you do that, the Malzahar sees it, and he's gonna know, oh shit, I can't ult, because if I ult, then he's just gonna fear me, and I instantly lose my ultimate. So, yeah. In that situation, that's what I did there. I really just easily can look for a Baron here. I mean, I can tank this pretty much forever, with the amount of sustain I have from Q and auto attacks. Especially if this Baron gets below the half mark, because then my auto attack speed is just gonna increase by massive amounts. And at that point, like, the Baron's really not gonna do anything to me anymore. Especially if it gets to, like, the very low stage. As you can see, my auto attack speed just increases a lot. I use my E to deal, like, to get, like, as much damage reduction as possible as well. And then here, I think I just recall. Like, the item I'm gonna go for right now for sure is the Spirit Visage. Especially against that team. They have so much magic damage. The Spirit Visage is overall an insane item on Warwick. Like, the amount of healing you get from that is crazy. Now here, 13 and 2. I mean, at this point, there's really no way to lose this, because me and Twitch are so far ahead, we're like literally carrying. I mean, let's be honest, Leona did a lot this game as well, like engage-wise and everything. So that's really good. Like, just rewind that a little bit. You guys need to see this. Like, look at the movement speed right here. 699 movement speed, just casually running around. Because like the Malzahar is really low. It's 699 movement speed, just charging in. Like, I was so fast from point A to point B, it's insane. This guy dies right here. Like, I see my Blood Hunt target still. I see that he's still low. I mean, I'd missed my ultimate, but it doesn't really matter. All I have to do is get close queuing once because he's really low. And I believe at this point we just end the game. They surrender. Alright, fine. But like, the movement speed quints really stack up a little bit. I think the movement speed quints allowed me to get like allows you to get like 40 or something, like 30 to 40 movement speed. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's the game. If you have any questions about Warwick and like playstyle wise and anything, just make sure to ask them in the comments below. I'll try my best to help you out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. If you did, make sure that the thumbs up. This helps me a lot. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye!